All right. So there's a lot to unpack here when it comes to the Yankees. We're less than a week away from opening day, and there's still a lot of questions that I'd love to be answered. And again, we're going to have to wait and see when they open up and provide their 26-man roster for opening day. It's slowly paring down. A couple more moves happened today. Shout out to everybody in the chat, and you let me know what your thoughts are. Right? But let's recap today. Before anything, recap. They played a split squad today. Okay, they won one game, they lost one game. So let's go to the game that they lost first. 11-0 to the Toronto Blue Jays. Now, Trey Savage, one of their young stud pitchers, is going to start the season on the IL. This is an FYI. So the Blue Jays are going to be down another pitcher, one of their top kids. He's got a shoulder problem. So, Buckeye, Jonathan, how are you doing, guys? That's not good for the Blue Jays, okay? Our guys, at the very least, are healthy. Let's go to this. I mean, Ahmed Rosario was 2 for 3 today. Peyton Henry was 0 for 1. J.C. Escar was 0 for 3. Randall Grichuk 0 for 3. Jason Vino 0 for 1. Seth Brown 0 for 3. And you had Paul DeYoung 0 for 2. Now, Paul DeYoung has announced, he did say yesterday that he's not going to be opting out of his contract, or his plan is not to opt out. He'll start the season in AAA if he needs to. So that's gives us some veteran depth because he provides some versatility. So that can actually be good news for the Yankees for later on. If they need another veteran who can play infield position, and he's a fantastic defensive player in the infield too. So it gives them a little bit of leverage, a little bit of room. Yanquiel Fernandez was 1 for 3. Max Schumann was 0 for 3. Kennedy Corona 0 for 3. Emmanuel Tejeda 0 for 3. They had 3 hits today against the Blue Jays. Okay, Ryan Weathers, not a good start. Okay, now he went 3 innings, gave up 8 hits, 7 runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, and 74 pitches. So his ERA is 11. Now, I've said this stuff recently too. Like, I don't think he's ready yet for the rotation, and we're going to get to this a little bit more. But I would start him out in the bullpen because he clearly has a big arm. He's got a high velocity stuff, but I think he's better suited right now for the bullpen, and I would work to extend them outward. He's never thrown more than 100 innings in a season, and he's been in the majors since 2021. So that has to be factored in as well. He's not ready to just be thrown to the wolves as a starter. Aaron Boone did say he's very likely going to make the starting rotation. They like his stuff where it needs to be, and so I'm hoping that he proves us all wrong. I'm hoping that I'll be happy to say I was wrong. So hopefully, if he is in the rotation, he pitches well, right? And I wouldn't put him in there, but that's just me. I don't work for the Yankees. So after him, then we had Tony Rossi came in through a third, and Kervin Castro. He actually pitched today, 2/3 of an inning, and 3 hits, 2 runs. And Cade Winquist also 1 inning, 3 hits, 2 runs. So I don't think either one of those guys is going to make the 26-man. Okay, I don't think that, again. What do you know, Ken? What's going on? And then you had Bradley Hanner come in. He threw 2 innings of good ball. I never heard of him. And then you had Carson Coleman came in. He was optioned out too today. It was yesterday. So was Carlos Legrand. And there's a bunch of corresponding moves that they made today, and I'll get to you in a second. Okay. So that was the pitching side. So they lost that game 11-0 to the Blue Jays. And again, the Blue Jays have lost Trey Savage. It's that young stud pitcher who made it to the major leagues from pretty much out of nowhere last year, pitching the World Series. So the other game, they won 5-4 in a walk-off fashion off the Baltimore Orioles. Trent Grisham was 1 for 3. Vivas was 1 for 1. Paul Goldschmidt was 1 for 3. He's batting .471 in the spring. Tyler Hardman 0 for 1. Jazz Chisholm 0 for 2. George Lombard 0 for 1. Giancarlo Stanton was 1 for 2 with 2 RBIs and a home run. And Carlos Stanton looks good, man. He looks good. He looks ready for the season. And we had Jason Dominguez was 0 for 2. And then you had Garrett Martin come in. He was 1 for 1 with a home run. He was one of the decisive home runs later on in the game. Ryan McMahon was 1 for 3. Roderick Garris has scored the winning run today. Jose Caballero over 3. And then we had Oswaldo Cabrera was 1 for 3. So the Yankees had 8 hits and 5 runs in that game. Max Fried started out when he had 5. He went 5 innings, 5 runs, 5 hits, 3 runs, 4 walks, and 2 strikeouts. He wasn't that sharp, but he threw 81 pitches. And again, these guys are still working on their pitch counts. Keep in mind too, Ryan Weathers' ERA is in the 11s right now. But look at the other guys. Michael King. So many Yankee fans wanted him, right, from the sign with the Padres. His ERA is almost 10. Jesus Luzardo with the Phillies. The Phillies just gave him like $130 million. His ERA is almost 10. It's spring training, so just something to keep in mind. These guys are still working on things, just like the hitters are still working on things. So that's got to be factored in. Now back to this. Yerry De Los Santos came in through an inning and 2/3 of clean ball. Jake Bird came in 2/3 of an inning of clean ball with a strikeout, and then you had Dylan Coleman come in through 2/3 of an inning, 1 hit, 1 run, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, and then Oswaldo Bido came in through a clean inning with a strikeout. But Yankees won that game in walk-off fashion 5-4. So, again, they won one, they lost one in the split squad today. But going back to this now, Ryan Weathers, like I said, I don't think he's ready for the rotation, right? And I still think that my 5-man rotation is going to be in whatever order, but I think it's going to be Max Fried, Will Warren, Cam Schlittler, Luis Hill, and then either Paul Blackburn or Ryan Yarborough. I think and Paul Blackburn and Ryan Yarborough's already been stretched out more than Weathers has, and Blackburn's a career starter, and I feel more confident with those guys throwing multiple innings than I do Ryan Weathers. I would rather deploy Ryan Weathers in the bullpen right now. Okay, speaking of bullpen, they did option out Angel Chevy today to AAA, so and I'll give you other moves as well too here. And they optioned out Carlos Legrand today. They reassigned him to minor league camp. So that doesn't mean he's out. We may still see him in games. So and it says here's another. This is about Carlos Legrand and some encouraging about Legrand too. This is mentioned within the current plan is for Carlos Legrand to pitch in Arizona on Monday. So we'll get another look on him before spring training ends. Will be a good experience for him to fly on a team charter as well. So he's staying around with the team. And again, he's a guy who, if he made the team, I would be fine with it. Now, keep in mind, too, he threw 120 innings last year. Okay, there is a transition from going from the minors to the majors. So for him, I would cap at 100 innings this year, Carlos Legrand. Big strikeout arm, clearly. Super high velocities and one of these monster arms for the Yankees. And they still have yet to finalize their bullpen, but I could see Carlos Legrand getting the nod over Ryan Weathers, getting the nod over Angel Chevy, getting the nod over Cade Winquist, and some of these other guys. And I could see him throwing like he threw 25 games last year, or 24. He averaged 5 innings per. He had 120 innings. Okay, so I give him 25 games this year, 4 innings, 3 or 4 innings a pop. And to me, that would be a good combination. And again, this is where solving this puzzle is going to be. These final pieces of the puzzle is going to be that key for the Yankees. There's so much chatter about this, Aaron Judge is in clutch and blah, blah, blah. There's so much BS for people who don't know the game, who've never played the game. Yet Shohei Ohtani, what was he, 2 for 18 in the World Baseball Classic or something like that? So they played him at the same time, Gary. They played both games at 1 o'clock. So whichever one ended first, they won against the Orioles and they lost to the Blue Jays, but they did play the same time. It was 1:05 p.m. I don't think Elmer Rodriguez is going to come yet. I think he's going to start in AAA, but Carlos Legrand, I think, could be deployed earlier than Elmer Rodriguez. If Elmer Rodriguez comes up, at some point he's going to come up in the rotation. Now, this is the other thing too. When Gerrit Cole and Carlos Rodon come back, then it's going to be. I don't see Luis Hill going to the minors. I don't. Okay, I think he's going to be in the rotation. They're working on release point issues with him right now, but he's already been stretched out. He's already been a star. He was rookie of the year as a star, so he's got experience. Okay, but this is what I'm talking about. If you can get three good innings or four good innings out of him, and then three good innings out of LeGrand, that's one hell of a pairing, right? Or if you get three good innings out of either Blackburn or Yarborough, and then transfer to three or four good innings of LeGrand every 5 days, like, yo, that's good pitching, right? And that to me is a better way of holding things over until Cole comes back, until Rodon comes back. Because when those guys come back, I think either Yarborough or Blackburn are going to be expendable. One of them is probably not going to be with the team. And at that point, Lewis Hill may be relegated to the bullpen, depending on how he pitches. It really depends on how he pitches because there are other guys here. LeGrand might be able to leapfrog him, right? Elmer Rodriguez might be able to leapfrog him. And at that point, he becomes trade bait. And this is a guy I was willing to trade all offseason. I said if we had gotten Nico Horner, I would have led the package with Lewis Hill. The Cubs needed pitching. I feel better about Will Warren than I do about Lewis Hill. Doesn't mean he's not. He's good. He's got a big arm. I think Lewis Hill has a higher ceiling than Warren does, but I think Warren's going to be a more consistent pitcher, right? And that at this point in time, that might be what they need to rely on. Reliability will take some stress off of the bullpen, and we need to. We didn't have much of that last year with the starting rotation, with the exception of Fried and Rodon, right? And Warren's still progressing as well, but we had a lot. We lost Garrett Cole, and we had lost Luis Hill for like 2/3 of the season, so we were missing a lot of pieces, and so the bullpen was taxed. And this year, I'd like to see a couple of long relief guys in the bullpen, right? And again, Carlos LeGrand in the bullpen, I'd be okay with, but I would cap him at 100 innings, right? And same thing goes with Ryan Weathers. He's thrown, I think, his 97 innings pitches his highest total, right? I wouldn't go beyond that right now. So I don't think Ryan Weathers should be. I don't think he's ready for the rotation, but that's just me. They did say he's likely going to be in rotation, so I hope it works out. I hope I'm wrong, but to me personally, I would start with Blackburn, okay, or Ryan Yarborough over Weathers. I would have Weathers in the bullpen. Let him continue to fine tune his stuff, and then expand on one good inning. Try to turn it into two instead of. I don't want to get to the point where he has one good inning and he gets lit up for 2 or 3 innings, and then it becomes an unproductive venture for him. I don't see the point in that. Okay. We have an opportunity to get off to a good start, and I want to capitalize everywhere we can. And if LeGrand can give us better innings than Weathers can, then I'm going with LeGrand, right? It's really not that, at least for me, it's really not that difficult. But again, tweet Cole made about his pitching. Cole's in favor of his pitching windup. A hand over the head, and he likes it, and he seems to be at peace with where he's at. He's dialed in, and I'm looking forward to seeing continued growth from Garrett Cole. So I'm very excited that his potential return and Rodon's potential return. But I do think when those guys come back, somebody's going to get cut, right? I think it's going to be Yarborough or Blackburn. And with again Hill, you can shift him to the bullpen. And could you imagine? One of the biggest problems the Yankees had last year is having high velocity guys in the bullpen. Could you imagine Weathers, Luis Hill, and LeGrand in the bullpen? Supporting those other guys. Those are 3 guys that throw 100 plus on a regular basis, or 100 on a regular basis, right? So this is where putting the final pieces of the Yankees puzzle together is going to be really important, right? And that's just the bottom line. Now tomorrow, Aaron Judge is going to be back in the lineup too. He's going to DH tomorrow. Aaron Boone confirmed that as well too. So it would be nice to have him, getting back into a groove after a couple days rest and stuff. So another thing he said today, Carlos LeGrand has made it a very difficult decision for them. Okay, so but reassignment doesn't mean he hasn't been optioned out. He's been reassigned to minor league camp. Okay, so he'll start where he starts. If he starts in AA or starts in AAA at some point. But at this point, I think I'm more comfortable having him up here than I am having Angel Chevi, than I having some of these other guys in the bullpen right now. So, and Hill might be eventually deployed to the bullpen, but right now, I think he's going to be in the starting. I think he should be in the starting rotation. But again, they've got to work on things with him, right? They really do, and that's just they're going to continue to have to do this right now. And again, and this is the other thing too. A lot of folks are giving Aaron Judge so much hate during the World Baseball Classic. Keep in mind that the World Baseball Classic is also happening in spring training. These guys are still working on their timing and bats and so on and so forth. A lot of these teams like Venezuela, they played winter ball. They're in their championship, season where Major League Baseball players are paid to be playing at their best in October, not in March. Like you see the whole, people giving Judge heat. The whole offense was like 0 for 19 against Venezuela. Bobby Witt, all the Kyle Schwarber, all the big dogs, offers. So it's not only Aaron Judge. It's a lot of these bats that are still behind. They need a certain amount of at-bats to kind of find their groove. Some of them will get lucky, but most of them will not. And it was pretty obvious, right? So, see, and there's another guy too, David Cohn. Harrison Cohn is a guy. He's a high velocity guy too that I have mentioned for the last couple of weeks that I think should get a look at. He was reassigned too, but I think he should get a look at for the bullpen as well. He's got good stuff, Harrison Cohn. So, well, that's the thing, David Cohn. If Hill only has 3 pitches, then he's better suited for the pen. You need more pitches to be in. That's why I think Elmer Rodriguez is better suited for the rotation than Luis Hill at this point, right? So, this rotation could look significantly different come, June when Cole comes back. So it's ridiculous. So much hate, and the most critical people of players like Judge are the people who have never played the game. People don't know least about the game. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But now, when it comes to the Yankees, their lineup has yet to be put together, right? Little by little, and I'm sure they'll play together a full lineup once or twice before opening day happens in the next couple of days. So we'll see. But this type of stuff, this is where they're at right now, right? And let's just see. And again, like I said, Chevy and Winquist, I don't think they're going to make like Chevy's already been optioned out. That should tell you something. He's not going to make it on the 26th right out the gate. I don't think Winquist is either. I think he's going to go back to give him back to the St. Louis Cardinals. I think he gets 50. The Cardinals will get him $50,000 or something like that. So I think he's going to wind up going back. Tomorrow, the Yankees play the Orioles in Tampa. Again, 6:35 p.m. George Steinbrenner Field. So tomorrow it's going to be Zach Eflin versus Luis Hill. So he'll get another chance tomorrow. Right? This is where it's ridiculous. I don't really listen to the critics who rely on talking points. It's like I don't listen to the fair weather fans. They bring nothing to the conversation, no value to the conversation. I learned nothing from them, right? So, no team. I don't know if any team's going to hunt. We don't know yet, Brian. It's too early to tell. It's too early to make those types of declarations. At least in my opinion. It's there's like people saying, "Oh, who's going to win the MVP?" I don't know. It's March. We don't know who's going to win the MVP. We have no idea, right? So, right now, the Yankees have yet to finalize their bullpen, and it's where I think that's probably where I think the bench is all but solidified. And this is where I wish the roster would have 28 guys instead of 26. I really did. 28 would be so much better. Would be so much better. So. Yeah, I think I could see the Yankees making another move. So this can happen. They have to fine tune their roster. So exactly, the fair weather fans. Exactly, Ken. What do you know, man? You need entertainment during. Well, yeah, the fair weather fans are definitely entertaining. They're definitely not known for their logical takes. So that's for sure. I don't know about standings predictions. I know it's too early for that. Standings predictions, I would probably do halfway in the season. Oh, it's too early for that stuff. But I'm gonna go live this weekend. I invited a couple of folks. Then we're gonna go over our 26-man roster prediction, and any predictions they might have for like any early Yankees position predictions. What I think they're gonna have, we could see happening, and so on and so forth. But like in terms of Standings and awards, I think it's early for that. I would wait until the season starts, till everybody has their roster solidified. So, yeah, we're the porn trolls, man. Yeah, and like, there's a lot of folks that defending a Judge or some of these other folks, like Michael K. I mean, judges. People keep saying all this stuff about Judge, like the most clueless people are the loudest critics. It's most ridiculous, but that's just the way that it is, right? The A-Lease is always going to be a bloodbath. Always going to be, oh, my man NFE from the strike zones in the building. Yeah. I'm waiting for my team, St. John's. I think they play tomorrow, so I need them to win, man. Let's go, St. John's. Let's go. No. Do I think Volpe's going to he doesn't have any trade value right now. So not right now. Season is already over. Exactly, NFE. I think he's going on their way to 4th and 5th place, right? That's right. The Twitter geniuses have spoken. The Discord geniuses have spoken. Yep. They didn't get $60 million a year Kyle Tucker, so it's all over. Yeah. Arizona winning the whole thing. I have Duke making the Final Four. I would love to see the St. John's get at least a Sweet 16. So, yeah. Mackenzie Gore to pick up Will Warren. I think it's good. I like Will Warren more than I like Mackenzie Gore, so I do. Cheerleaders. Oh, man. Can you imagine that? Dukes. Excuse me. I have Duke making the Final Four. Young Boozer, and they're just good. If they had Cooper Flag from oh man, I think they would win the whole thing. With they had Cooper Flag, but they don't. So he's now lighting up the league in the Mavericks. So Texas Rangers got Mackenzie Gore. Yep. Kansas is a solid team too. Yeah, Warren and Schlittler are in my rotation too. I do not see Schlittler going to the bullpen. Some people are suggesting that. I can't see that. Yeah, exactly. The Judge doesn't show up. I mean, come on. Come on. From the fair weather fans, the fans who don't, the most clueless fans are the ones that are saying this. The Judge doesn't show up. Who showed up for Team USA? Bryce Harper got lucky with the home run. But aside from that, nobody. They were like 0 for 19. It's not only Judge. And again, these guys collectively don't have enough at bats to be in midseason form. They don't need to be midseason form in March. Okay? They don't. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. The talking points and the fair weather fans, those are the real talkers, right? The connected people. Yep. Yeah, I would not do a summer World Baseball Classic. I would not interrupt the season. I mean, the World Baseball Classic unfortunately has to happen when it does. So, yeah, Rowley, Bobby Witt, Ofer, Schwarber, Ofer. Like the whole offense is Ofer. How do I see the opener going? It's Max Fried versus Logan Webb. I can see the Yankees winning that. By how much? I don't know. I'm not sure. I would not start LeGrand just yet. So I would not start LeGrand just yet. That's just me because he's thrown 120 innings tops, and I wouldn't want to move him up in levels and have him throw more innings. Like I said, I would have LeGrand do like a 3 or 4 inning guy this year. consistently. Let that be his progression or his transition to the majors, right? Let him be one of these guys. He's just a higher level version of Yarborough and Blackburn, right? So I don't think Cal Raleigh is going to get 60 home runs again. I don't even know if he's going to get 50. Could be like a Brady Anderson thing, who had like 18, 15 every year, and all of a sudden he hit 50. People are like, oh my God, Brady Anderson, superstar. And then he never got above, I think he ever hit above 20 after that. So, yeah. You got to DFA Stanton. You have to trade Dominguez for Jerks and Profar. Even though Profar is suspended for the year, you got to get him. You got to get him. Got him, man. Ken's bringing the knowledge right here. But this is where, these are like the biggest talking points right now. The Judge thing um, and Weathers, right? And I understand frustrated fans about Weathers. And that's why I've said for weeks now, I don't think he belongs in the rotation. I would work where he's best, which is a high leverage guy in the bullpen, and just kind of slowly build off of that, right? I feel more comfortable with LeGrand throwing 3 or 4 innings than I do Weathers right now. So, and again, deploying these, we can maximize the innings that we need from our pitchers in a way that is not going to compromise everybody else. It would also make it easier to transition back to Rodon when he comes back, transition back to Cole when he comes back. They're going to have to make some tough decisions anyway. And Carlos Negreanu is not even on the 40 yet. So they'd have to make a corresponding move to him as well, right? So, exactly. That's why I don't really pay attention to the fair weather fans either, the fair weather channels, right? That's why I don't have them on. Right? It's just ridiculous. I'm not sure Weathers is going to get optioned out, to be honest with you. I think he's going to be in the bullpen, but you never know. You never know. I mean, Shavy had a bunch of options, so I'm not surprised he got optioned today, the AAA. I think that's a right move. He needs to work on that. So, but the bullpen right now, I mean, it's Bednar, Fernando Cruz, Camilo Doval, Jake Bird, Tim Hill. I think Brent Hedrick's going to make the team. And I think it's going to be Ryan Yarborough and Ryan Withers. I think those are going to be the guys in the bullpen. And then at some point, Carlos Negreanu will be in there. So I wouldn't lead off Trent Grisham personally. I would lead off Jose Caballero. I want a guy who's aggressive on the base paths, leading off. And that would put Bellinger at second behind him. And then Judge. Right? That's what I would do. Yep. Scared of who? Who's scared of who? Mickey Pegs? What did I miss? Scared of who? Hill and Yarbrough's a lot. Yeah, this is true. And Hedrick, he's proven to be reliable on the lefty side too. Scared of who, Mickey Pegs? I wouldn't lead off Grisham. I would bat him 7th. I don't know yet. I think his lineup's one of the best, but we'll see how it gels. It's going to be a little bit different. Beto, I don't think Beto makes the team, no. Just like Oswaldo Cabrera, I don't think he's going to make the team either. I'm scared of Mickey Pegs. I'm still waiting. Who? Specifically who? That's what I would add Weathers to the bullpen. If he needs a spot start, yeah, but Weathers would be in the bullpen. And that's it. I think Austin Wells is primed for a better year too. And I think he's going to have a solid year. I think Ben Rice is going to take the next step in his development too. But I think deploying him in the right spots in the lineup is going to be a good idea. I hope it's consistent. What fair weather fans, Mickey Panks? What fair weather? I'm not scared of any of them, dude. I invite people all the time here to debate, and they never take me on it. They never take me up on it. And the fair weather channels posing as real talkers. I invite these people on here all the time. They don't come up. There to go, Beagle. Good job. I would lead off Caballero. Go Yankees. Caballero. With what we have right now, or if Grichuk's here, I would lead off with Randall Grichuk. It could also be Max Schumann, because he's shown to be aggressive on base paths too. Yeah, exactly. We debate facts, not opinions. People can't back up their arguments with facts. They're going to get picked apart on here, not only by me, but everybody in the chat. They will get picked apart. We don't do talking points here, narratives and all that BS. We do facts here. Keep getting that work in, Beagle. Keep putting that work in. Keep getting your steps. Get your cardio up. Get your strength training in. I'll be doing it. I'll be out in the morning again like I am every day. Getting the cardio in. I don't think Castro or De Los Santos, I don't think either one makes team. Nope. I think we're going to have really good AAA depth. And I don't know how many options those guys have, but I can't see them making. Who would they not put on the team in place of those guys is the question. Potential dead spots? I don't know about that. I would say that. Grisham, McMahon, and Wells would be my 7, 8, 9. That's why I wouldn't lead off great. Grisham can't really run that well either. I want somebody who's going to be aggressive at the top, who can run. Big Mac. That's why I only do the Big Mac and the pie like once a year or twice a year. I can't do it otherwise. It's going to be rocket fuel for me. It's send me to the bathroom. And I eat clean. When I eat something like that, it does me dirty for a couple of days. So that's why I got to go back and basically fast or whatever you flush out the body. It doesn't matter if they're not hitting right now. They don't have enough at bats collectively. And Grisham's batting average, what was last year? What, 240 or something like that? Grisham also had, of his 34 home runs, 28 either tied the game or put the Yankees in the lead. He was the most clutch Yankee hitter last year in the regular season. And I don't even need that from him. If we got 20 home runs from Bolton and we played good defense, that'd be plenty for those guys. In the 7, 8, 9 spots, I would even 15 to 20 home runs. I'd be fine with that. Both of those guys. You're not wrong for wanting that. That's why I want him bat at 5th too. I want Judge 3rd, Rice 4th, Stanton 5th. Jazz 6th. I think it's the best sequential order of the lineup if it was me. Schumann and Rosario, and to me, Schumann and Rosario make the team. Yep. Yes, indeed. I think Schumann, Rosario, probably Grichuk, and if it's not Grichuk, it's going to be. It could be between Grichuk and Schumann, but Rosario, Goldschmidt. Yep. Yeah, Kyle Tucker's batting like 180. So Kyle Tucker really ain't doing much. And he's making $60 million a year. You know, I don't think Castro makes the team, but I do think he'll be valuable AAA depth. Like I say, Rosario. I'm not Rosario. I'm sorry. DeYoung and Grichuk have opt-outs, but DeYoung said yesterday he's not going to exercise his opt-out. He's going to stay with the team, even if it's in AAA. We'll see what happens with Grichuk. We don't know if Tucker's going to get himself together. And the fact of the matter is, his stats weren't better than Cody Bellinger's. They weren't better than Grisham's last year, but he's made $60 million a year. McMahon will do what he needs to do here for the Yankees. He stabilized the infield defense. That's why they brought him here. We don't need him to hit for 40, 50 home runs. Tucker doesn't even do that, right? No, Grichuk's not in the 40 man, but they wouldn't have brought him here unless they plan on putting him on the bench. His reputation against left-handed bats is better than most of the guys that the Yankees have. That's why they brought him here. But again, it hasn't happened yet, too, Jonathan. So we'll wait and see if it happens or not. Tim Curry's in the house. What is good, man? It's all good, man. Jays fans are welcome here, too. Jays fans are welcome. Fans from all teams are welcome, man. Sorry to hear about your Savage today. Your Savage is going to start the season on the IL. He said that he has a shoulder problem. I'm not. He's not going to hit $60 million worth of production. That was a monster overpay for Kyle Tucker. No. But it is what it is. You think they're going to choose Grichuk over Schumann? Honestly, I think they're going to have both. But they could. You never know. They could very well do that. Schumann's got that infield, outfield versatility. That's why I think he's getting the nod over Oswaldo Cabrera. This is what the most fascinating part, right, Jonathan? This last putting the edges of this puzzle together. So we'll see what they do in the next. We are like 5 days away or 4 days away from opening day, so we're gonna know a lot in the next 4 or 5 days, which is great. So yeah, very tough. Very tough, and it's going to be that. It's this is the benefit of having as much depth as the Yankees have right now. It makes the decisions tougher. So yeah, well, exactly. I mean, it's these guys. I wouldn't want to be the one making the decision, but I would love to be a fly on the wall, listening to that war room. Right? I would love to just be listening into that, man. Can't speak for the Dodgers. I don't really care. If Otani went down last year, the Dodgers would not have won the World Series. Same thing goes for Yamamoto. They wouldn't have won the World Series without those guys. Mm-mm. We know that. I don't even think they would have made the World Series without those guys. But yeah, losing Judge, obviously, it's a huge blow for the Yankees. But and like Spencer Jones, I think his first call up will probably be when if Stanton goes down with an injury or Grisham is not playing well for a while. That's when I think we'll see Spencer Jones. I think I could be wrong, but that's going to be their logic into calling him up, and then hopefully he stays up here. Yep. Yeah, I mean, Judge wants to win a world championship, so whether it's 310, 3-4, whatever it is, I'm not really worried about Aaron Judge, right, Buckeye? I think he'll be fine. It's the surrounding cast around him that we need to keep healthy. The Dodgers would not win the World Series without Otani. Zero chance. I'd be willing to bet on that. They would not win the World Series without Yamamoto either. Zero chance. I'd be willing to bet on that too. That's the equivalent of the Yankees losing Cole, right? I think Judge is going to get a chip in the future too. Hopefully, it's in 26. We'll see. And the Yankees, they have not traded away any top five prospects. So they have all the chips that they need, all the ammunition in the gun. So if they need to make a big move at the deadline this year, if they're one piece away, they can do that, right? And kind of shock baseball. They have all these weapons here that they can deploy in a trade. Yeah, that's why I think Caballero should be leading off, because we need to have guys that put the ball in play, run the bases with reckless abandon. Cody Bellinger is one of our better contact hitters. That's why I bat him second, right? And if Caballero's on base, then these guys are going to want to pitch to Bellinger, because they're not going to want to walk him to put two guys on base for Aaron Judge on a regular basis, right? So Bellinger's going to see more pitches, which is a good thing because he bats well against lefties and righties. So it gives him more opportunities and will give Judge more opportunities. And then I think Rice in between Judge and Stanton, that righty lefty dynamic would be fantastic. And I think Rice having that being protected by those guys is going to be good for his development as well, right? So all good, Tim Curry, man. All good, man. Well, our rotation, once they're fully here, it'll be great, man. Yeah. Judge is fine. He's that dude's solid gold, man. Yeah, they almost lost the World Series with Ohtani. Exactly, with Ohtani and Yamamoto. Yep. Yep. It's like the Blue Jays gave him that World Series. Blue Jays lost that World Series more than the Dodgers won the World Series. The Blue Jays had everything right go for them until the World Series. They had a bunch of guys have career years last year. They're going to have to duplicate that now without Bo Bichette, without Trey Savage for a while, right? Without who else? One of their starting pitchers. I forgot who. Who else? One of their starting pitchers as well. I don't know, man. Yeah, well, that's the thing too. Japan, Venezuela, man. All the credit in the world goes to Venezuela. They took out Japan. They took out Italy, the hottest team in the tournament. They took out the U.S. That right now, that's the Rudy Rudiger right there, right? Rocky Balboa, the little engine that could. That's the inspirational story to me right there, Venezuela. They deserve to win that World Baseball Classic. They really did. Yeah, this is true, Effie. I got to keep that in mind, man. Thank you for reminding me. The talking points people have spoken. The Yankees will be a fourth place team. They were right. Yeah, they said last year they were going to be a fourth place team. And the year before that, and they said they were going to be a fourth or fifth place team after we lost Soto, and the Mets were going to win the World Series. I forgot. Got to listen to the talking points, people. Yeah. Betts. Didn't they give Betts like a 10-year extension or a 13-year extension? How's it Betts last season? Kershaw is out. He's retired. Yeah. What, does Betts have an opt out or something? Doesn't he have like 10 years on his deal left? I could be wrong on that. Could be wrong. I was surprised to see Weathers made the rotation too. They must see something that we don't. So, I mean, obviously they have more inside intel than we do. So, and they're confident in it. So I hope that they're right. And I hope that I'm wrong. Yes, he did, Ken. IKF did give the Dodgers the World Series, man. I think they might have slipped them a couple of royalties behind the scenes. Yeah. TP. Talking points equals toilet paper. I love it, Edify. I love it, man. I don't know, man. I think we have something we like. I think Caballero's a grinder. If Rosario's in there, he's a grinder. Austin Wells is a grinder. The other spots are up for grabs. There are some grinders here. They just have to be grinders with production instead of grinders without production. No, I don't, Comenza. I don't remember the last time talking points people were actually right. I don't. Oh man, but it's entertaining, isn't it? Listening to them and their rants. The Yankees. Aaron Judge didn't want Juan Soto as much as he wanted Cody Bellinger. He didn't want nice stuff. Okay. These insanely clueless arguments that we hear on a regular basis. All right. I don't agree with Weathers being in rotation either, bro. Yeah, exactly. I hope for the best too, bro. I don't think he's ready for the rotation. That's what I thought. I thought Betts had a much more years. Do I think they carry 3 catches? Oh, no, I don't. I don't. I think LeBron Hayes is going to be up here relatively early in the season. And I don't think he should be like LeBron Hayes. His top innings total was 120 this past year. Moved up in levels too. So I would cap him at 100 innings. You can go 25. You can pitch him 25 games, 4 innings a pop, and then you can have Ryan Yarbrough or Paul Blackburn. You know, and you can have them start and then bring him in later. So you're going from 90 to 104, right? You could really, really throw the dynamic off to the batting lineups, the opposing batting lineups. Did he really? 69 foot. Wow, Buckeye. Damn. 69 for turn. That's some Steph Curry type. That's some Caitlin Clark stuff right there. Yep. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Weathers, his first start was pretty good. But then since then, I mean, like I said, I think his best deployment right now would be in the relief. 1 inning and you try to get 2 really good innings out of him. You get 2 quality innings out of Ryan Weathers. I would be happy with that all year. You do that, 40 times, and he all of a sudden he has 80 innings of quality pitching, and then you try to build towards 3 innings over time. Like again, he's never thrown more than 97 innings in the season. So I don't, I'm very reluctant to have him go 125, 130. Very reluctant. As long as Lombard's back keeps coming around. Sports talk, what's happening, man? As long as Lombard's back keeps coming around. Yeah. Well, the Blue Jays are going to be without Trey Savage now too, and they're going to be without Anthony Santander for like 5 months as well, and without Bo Bichette. So it's going to be very difficult for them to duplicate the season they had last year. Very difficult. Yeah, I think Walls. I think Walls. He'll be an improved player this year too. He's had a lot of energy around him with Team DR. Surrounded by those guys, and I hope he brings some of that here. And they got to keep feeding him good, man. He ate that good Dominican food, man. The World Baseball Classic. Oh, baby. I heard about he was eating just the good stuff, man. And you can't go wrong with Dominican food. You just can't. It is fantastic. Hmm. So I expect, and I wouldn't be surprised if they lead off Austin Wells on occasion. They let off Austin Wells last year on opening day, and he hit a leadoff home run to start the season against right off Freddie Peralta and the Brewers. The power of food is right, man. The power of good food. I have not heard anything. Consiglietti, did he have it today? Consiglietti have heart surgery today? Buckeye? I'm going to reach out to him, make sure he's okay. Yeah, I mean, exactly, Clemente. I mean, spring training pitching. Again, pitchers are working on release points. They're working on building their pitch counts. Batters are working on timing. They're working on different things, right? So, and batters need, you know, 50, 60 at bats to get into a groove. None of them have that yet. Pitchers need to build up to at least 75 pitches, and hardly any of them have done that too. So, it's going to take a while. Friday, okay. I'm going to check. You had what yesterday, Ray? Yeah, yeah, exactly. Jeffrey was a good example. You never know. You could stink in just like last year when they traded for Fernando Cruz. He couldn't get anybody out. He was walking everybody. And then he turned into one of the most reliable relievers that they had in the regular season. He had open heart, man. And you're here today, man. Well, welcome, man. And I hope you're doing okay. I'm glad to see you recovering, man. And I'm glad you're spending some time with us, man. I hope you're doing well, man. But I'm glad you're here, man. So keep healing, brother. Keep healing, man. That's fantastic, bro. You're in the hospital now? When I suffered a stroke a couple years ago, and I was doing videos from my hotel bed, my hospital bed. But that's gangster, Ray, in hospital. So I can definitely relate with you, man. But keep healing, bro. Keep healing and keep getting well. Keep getting well, brother. Always welcome here, man. Love hearing good stories like this, and on a road to recovery and stuff like that. So that's inspiring, Ray. You inspired me today, man. So keep getting better, bro. No doubt, bro. Anytime, man. Man, but that's it. I mean, so I do. At this point, I think it is 161 stuff. That's right, man. Clemenza, you remember that? Yeah, yeah. I was out for a couple days because I was completely out of it. I wasn't even hardly ambulatory, so I couldn't do anything. But I said, "Yo, man, as soon as I got my senses back to me, I had to get back and get back with you guys, man, the family." So I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you sticking with me, man. I did in when the hell was it? 2022. A cerebellum, like the left side of the brain stroke. Yeah, they came out of nowhere, knocked me on my ass. I had never been diagnosed with anything. It just knocked me on my ass, man. Yeah, out of commission for a couple days, but I had my wife bring my laptop to the hospital, man, please, because I need to get back. I need to be I need to be with you guys. So you guys are my extended family. And I was there, and then I had to go to rehab for a month. I was in rehab for a month. I was out of my house for a month. So until they kicked me out, insurance didn't want to cover it anymore. They kicked my ass out of rehab. Yeah, I did, JKP. Yep. Mm. But I'm recovered, man. And I'm very active. I eat healthy. I work out 6 days a week. That caught me out of nowhere. Got me. So I had to do. I appreciate JKP. Thanks, brother, man. Believe me, it was very tough. It was very tough. I couldn't walk for a couple of days. I had to relearn how to walk. So that was like shit. Yeah. Yeah, you can DM me, Beagle. Go ahead, bro. No doubt. Of course, man. Absolutely. It was scary, Buckeye. Believe me, yeah, that was for me. It was scary. I did not expect that, man. And I was at my in-laws' house, and I just started like lightheaded and started feeling crazy, and then I just started puking. I said, "What the hell's going on, man?" So, and then I was just on the floor. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't move. So yeah, hey, the Big Macs for you guys. That's right. Yeah, it's insurance, Clemenza. It's what GLP-1s, Billy Clemenza. They can decide to cover something 1 month and then to not cover it the next month. They'll cover it, it'll be covered, and then it'll be prepared, be a generic copay, and then it'll be a ridiculously high copay. You can have a high deductible. It's all day. And I worked in healthcare for 15 years, pharmaceuticals. So I'm very well versed in terms of prescription coverage, and I work on the pharmacy side now. So the adjudication process of prescriptions. So I deal with this stuff all the time. Prior authorizations and drugs not getting covered, and it's crazy. Oh, Beagle, hope you're okay, man. Yeah, I couldn't, man. I couldn't like even balance. I had a walker for like a month. It was crazy, man. Yeah, get him over to me, Beagle. Yeah, yeah, and I like even before, like the Big Mac and apple pie. That was like a once a year thing for me. So that was a special occasion cheat meal or something like that. So oh, we'll go. Oh yeah, dude. Yep. Tirzepatide, semaglutide, all that type of stuff. The GLP-1s. Yep. Yep. Prior author. The insurance will do whatever they can to not cover your product. Right? They'll make it as difficult as possible because it eats into their profits. Right? It's ridiculous, man. Oh boy. Oh, tattoo. So, oh yeah, yeah. Injuries like it's it's crazy. You can just turn one way and tear your ACL. Like and I'm a long time martial artist. I do all these crazy moves and all this type of stuff. But like, you just turn, you torque a little bit this way to the right or to the bit left, and it's all of a sudden you throw your back out, or you tear your ACL. It's like what the hell? It was a stroke from a few years ago on a feet. That's right. It's 2022, if I'm not mistaken. It was from a few years ago, bro. Yep. I'm fully back. But that dropped me on my ass, bro. We love you, Des. We appreciate you, man. Yeah, Max coverage is in the building, my man too. Let's get a party now, man. 6 days, baby. 6 days, man. Puppet. Like yeah, animals. So I got four cats. It's different, but like they're always, you're standing in the kitchen, they walk behind you, and you step back, and you're like, they'll just drop me on my ass. It's like, what do you have to be standing on my back foot? Like they like almost kill you, cats, man. Yeah, I appreciate you, man. Yeah, I was like, I was in the hot. I couldn't even talk really. Now I had all these tests being run, CAT scans and MRIs and all. I couldn't do anything for a couple of days, man. It sucked. I was getting blood drawn. It was sticking me with needles everywhere, every single day. It's the worst experience of my life. I hated it. I wanted to get out of there so quickly. Right, Max? Always right behind your feet, man. And it's like, dude, you want to drop me on my ass? Like, come on. Yeah, Buckeye. Same, dude. Yeah, it's like, do you, I mean, it's like a sneak attack too. Like, and it's just woof. Like, you want me to fall down the step? Why don't you just tell me, Daddy? I want to knock you down the steps. I really do. Dude, it's like, come on, man. You can't do me dirty like that. Yeah, dog and cats. I mean, they love you to death. I love them to death, but they're like walking death traps. They are. Yeah, man. Get some rest, Ray. Get some rest, brother. Keep healing, man. Keep healing, brother. Good to have you on here, man. It really is. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. They've come they've come a long way with medical science. They really have. Hill and I it's a good question, Max. Um, I know they're working on release point issues with Hill. I think Hill is going to want. If I had to choose between Hill and Weathers in the rotation, I would go with Hill, only because he's got more experience in the rotation. I think at this point, Weathers is not ready for rotation. I would have him in the bullpen as like a 1 or 2 inning guy right now, and then I would gradually try to add production to his pitching. Right, um, that's the way I would do it. And I would have like my 5 man would be Freed, Warren, Schlittler, um, Hill, and either Weathers. I mean, excuse me, either Blackburn or Yarborough. And Weathers is a guy to have in the bullpen for now. I think he's got to work his way to the rotation at some point. But again, I don't think it should happen this year at all because we have Cole and Rodon coming back. So either Hill or Weathers, or I mean, excuse me, Hill or Yarborough or Blackburn are going to either they're going to be expendable. One of them is probably not going to be on the team at all. And the other one's probably going to be in the bullpen like Hill. But if you move Hill to the bullpen at some point, right, you have him there with Weathers and you have LeGrand in the bullpen. You have 3 guys that can throw 100 with regularity in the bullpen. We didn't have that many type velocity guys before. Our bullpen would be really hard to hit if we had that at some point, right? So, yeah. So that's my take right now, Max. What's your take, bro? What do you think, man? I don't think Weathers is ready for the rotation. I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I know they're confident with him. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they prove me wrong. But I do think Yarbrough goes to the bullpen when Cole returns into it. And then I think Blackburn will probably get cut at that point. The Spurs, I'm telling you, man. Victor Wembanyama, man, he's good. He's good. Didn't he have a heart condition last year? He have a heart condition, right? Wembanyama's good. He's good, man. But I do think Yarborough goes and the bullpen could look completely different in a couple months. It really could. I don't see Blackburn on the team entire year either. Blood clot. Yep. I was worried about him. I'm glad he's back playing. I really am. Start with us in the pen. Yarborough. Yeah, to me, it would be Yarborough or Blackburn, right? They're stretched out a little bit more. I get more reliable innings out of them than I do Weathers right now. Yep, exactly. He came up to a good start, but since then he's either had you know 3 good innings and then he got pounded, or he got pounded the first inning. He had 3 good innings, and then like today he just got hit collectively for 3 innings. So and he's got strikeout stuff, but he keeps getting tagged. He keeps getting tattooed by bats. So that's something they have to work on with him. So I'd rather have 1 or 2 good innings out of him, out of the bullpen and long relief, and then build the other pieces around that. If at some point LeGrand comes up here, I would have him a 3 or 4 inning guy, no more than that. LeGrand had 120 innings space last year. I would not go beyond 100 for him at the major league level this year. Weathers has never thrown 100 innings in the major league since 2021, since he's been up here. He's the same type of guy. I would max him out at probably 80. I would try to get as many good innings out of him as possible and minimize the unproductive innings, right? This is where I would be kind of putting this. That's why I would utilize Blackburn and Yarborough and like LeGrand. You know, LeGrand pitched 24 games last year. He threw 120 innings, so he averaged 5 innings per. If you can get 3 or 4 innings out of him at the major league level this year, like he's been doing in spring training, sign me up for that. Sign me up. That's a good use of a bullpen guy here. To me, that's just the way I'm looking at it. So, yeah, it does make sense I think for now, but I think he's going to be one of the first guys to get called up. And I think if Hill doesn't pitch well, then I could see Elmo Rodriguez up here in his place. And like I said, Hill could either be relegated to the pen or he could be traded. I feel more comfortable with Warren. Like I think Hill has a higher ceiling with a bigger arm, but I think Warren's going to be a more consistent pitcher, a more reliable arm. And at this point, with the instability that we had in the rotation last year, we need all the reliability we can get this year to take the load off the bullpen as much as possible. And if Warren does that, then so be it, right? Yeah, that's why I would keep Weathers at an inning right now, and then work to get him get 2 good innings out of him. And at some point, if you can get more than 2 good innings, okay. But like, I don't want him to go out there and try to throw 5 innings and give up 8 runs. That's like Jeff Weaver again. I don't want to do that. So yeah, long relief for Legrand. That's, I mean, I think that his best deployment would be. I think Elmer Rodriguez gets called up too. Yeah, Eddie Lopez. Like Fernando Cruz when he was traded here last year, he couldn't find the plate. He walked everybody in spring training last year. And we were like, oh my God, what did we get here, right? We traded Jose Trevino for him, and then he became one of the most reliable relievers on the Yankees team during the season. So, like, you never really know. You could have a crap spring and a great season, or a great spring and a crap season. No, we'll see. Yeah, Netflix, exactly. Yeah, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for Netflix, man. Let's go. 40 likes. Appreciate you guys coming in here, spending a little bit of time. I'll wrap this up in a minute too, but I wanted to get your take on this stuff. Like, this is the area where putting the final pieces of the puzzle together with this roster comes into play. What's to solve? Right? There's so many different approaches and so many different criticism. Like, I'm not going to spend my time talking about Aaron Judge and this and that, and he's not clutch. I mean, the offense went 0 for 17 or 0 for 19, with the exception of Bryce Harper's home run. That's it. So Schwarber did nothing. Bobby Witt Jr. did nothing. Cal Raleigh did nothing, right? For the most part, Bryce Harper did nothing until that home run. So I'm telling you, man. I just wish we didn't need 5 different things we need to subscribe to watch all of our Yankee games, like Netflix, Amazon Prime, a Peacock, all these different things just to watch our freaking favorite team. I have MLB TV, but I still can't see all the games through that either. How many memberships do we need to watch the Yankees or any of our favorite teams? My God. Yeah. Well, ESPN lost, that's a big thing too with ESPN, not covering much more. So like there's gonna be a difference, changing of the guard in terms of baseball coverage this year. So Mike Trout, I don't think Mike Trout's hurt. I'm not sure. After May 1st, think of the year, Sawdust. Who you referring to? If they keep him down until May 1st, yeah. Also, if they option Volpe out for 20, it's 20 games, play him 20 games while he rehabs in the minors, they'll get a year of control out of him too. Why does that matter? Because if a team wants to acquire him in a trade at some point, if the Yankees are willing to trade him, get extra year of control on the cheap, is valuable for an acquiring team. Right? They would rather get a 4th year on the cheap instead of 3 years on the cheap. Trout, yeah. I like seeing he tried. Trout made the last out last time. Otani struck him out to win the championship in 23. Judge is playing tomorrow. He's going to be in the lineup until he's DHing tomorrow in the lineup. That I know. Aaron Boone confirmed that. Mike Trout back. He was like Clayton Kershaw. He always had a herniated discs in his back. He always had back problems, Kershaw. So, but he's going to retire now, wait his 5 years, and then go into be a first ballot Hall of Famer. There's no doubt about that, man. Same thing applies to Scherzer when he retires and Verlander when he retires. They're all going to be first ballot guys. I have no doubt. The Yankees, oh God, yeah. Yeah, they get San Francisco, and then I think they go to Seattle after that, and then they come home. The Jets off season so far so good. They've loaded up on defense. They got guys that are better at controlling the ball. They traded some superfluous pieces, but I think um, what they do in the draft is going to really help solidify the rest of this offseason. They're going to need some playmakers on offense too, and they have enough picks to do it. But so far, I like what they've done on the defensive side. The Geno Smith thing, they got him for nothing. The Raiders paid 95% of his contract. They traded Justin Fields to the Chiefs. They got another draft pick, so they will add another quarterback at some point. Who I don't know, but um, and I don't expect I don't expect the Jets to go to the playoffs this year. But if they win, that's the thing too. Like if they win 7 or 8 games, then they're going to be picking in the middle of the draft. And there are other fans that want them to tank for Arch Manning, the quarterback. So like, I don't know what's going to happen. But why sign all these guys to win 2 games again? Right? What's the point? Cow- Cowboys have been aggressive. They were aggressive, man. But they're going to have their work cut out for them too. They will. Yep. Kopech's not signed. Giolito's not signed. And this is the other problem too. Like when you sign one of these guys now, it's not going to help the Yankees for a month or two. And at that point, they're not going to need them, right? Because then Cole will be back, or Don will be back, and some of these other guys. So like at this point, Kopech, I'd rather trade for somebody who's had a spring, right? Who's already in game mode. If the Yankees were going to add a reliever or a starting pitcher, I'd rather they trade for somebody. But at this point, I don't think they need to trade for a reliever. I could see them trading for a starter, but I don't even know if they're going to do that. So Cole's not going to be here until late May, early June. Or Rodon will be here in April, most likely. I think so too. 2 vets and a rookie. Eagles, something like that. I could see, bringing back Tyrod Taylor or trying to sign Kirk Cousins and then drafting that kid from Alabama, Ty Simpson. We'll see. Yeah, Montero hasn't even made it here, right? He would have been a piece that I would have liked to see in the bullpen, but he hasn't even made it to the U.S. He hasn't been granted admission to it with his visa. They have not even letting him in the U.S. He's not the only player. There's a bunch of Cubs players too, and some other players. So when Cole I was just happy he got up without getting hurt. That was that first pitch that Red Sox guy, that bunt. They were testing his fitness right away. I'm glad he got out of it, and he got out of the first inning, 10 pitches. So I'm glad to see that. I was just happy he didn't get hurt. I don't think the Jets have had the right guys to groom quarterbacks. And then the offensive coordinator now, I think he'll be better suited to groom quarterbacks. So, so we'll see what happens there. Paul DeYoung, yeah, and if you haven't heard, Paul DeYoung has said yesterday that he's not going to opt out. He's one of 2 guys, him and Grichuk, that have opt-outs. I think they have to be activated. I think tomorrow, the next day. He said he's not going to opt out. He's ready to start the season, even if he starts in AAA. So I like that. It gives them infield depth here at AAA. So if they need another infielder, they can do that. There you go. Chasing juveniles around. Keeping them in line, Clemenza. Leave the gun, take the cannoli, man. Just make sure you do that, all right? Harry Rose, is his last season announcing the Mets? He's had a good run. Yeah, man. McColl's a good athlete too, man. So I'm glad, I'm glad he's going to be good. Good to go. I'm looking forward to seeing his next pitching outing. So we'll go 2 innings next time, and 3 or whatnot. So I can't wait for him to make his return in the major leagues. I really can't. He looks good. Hopefully the same thing applies for Rodon, and hopefully just come back and just give the rotation more stability. We need as much stability and and security as possible, and consistency, right? Oh boy, you're gonna be armed soon, Clemenza. Oh boy, just watch your ass, man. Watch your ass out there. Cole with the beard, yeah. I like these guys with the beard. I'm cool with the facial hair thing. I don't really care. Seth Brown's another one. If he gets reassigned and stays, I could see him getting a call-up this year too. And again, I'm surprised that guys like him didn't get signed by other teams. But he's had a decent spring. Good, solid defender too. So doesn't everybody carry in Texas? That's like open. It's an open carry state everywhere, isn't it? Carry your bazookas and into Dunkin' Donuts and whatever. uh, I don't think. I think Judge is going to. He's the captain. I think he's going to stay clean shaven. Exactly too. It is a tough one to. Yeah, not everybody feels at ease when somebody's standing talking to them with a Glock on the hip, especially nowadays when people just are quick to pull the trigger. Chucky Joe, my God. I never see the point of that stuff. I don't see. I don't need to walk around feeling like John Rambo. Juvenile parole officers. No, that's crazy. That is nuts. You're an officer and you can't carry, but civvies can. That's nuts. Wow, man. That's I didn't know that. So some education tonight, man. I appreciate this. Yeah, but this has been a good conversation. I'm glad we're gonna get back up and rocking and rolling again on a regular basis. Live streams after every game and so on and so forth. So get ready. We're a couple days away. I appreciate you spending some time with me tonight. And a fee, Ken, Max, all you guys, Jonathan, the best, Buckeye, all you, Clemenza. And if you hear anything about Consigliere, please let me know. I want to make sure he's okay. And Ray, keep getting well too, brother. Not yet, but I will. And I'm also going to get tickets to the Home Run Derby as well. It's going to be in Philadelphia this year. So, Citizens Bank Park is the All-Star game and the Home Run Derby. So that I'm looking forward to. Go with my wife and my father-in-law. See that. They are Phillies fans. So, here you go. I have to carry pepper spray in order to get there. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's not fun getting sprayed by it. Spray with it. 50. Yeah, if you don't mind, everybody smack the like button on the way out. But I appreciate you all coming on, joining me. Tomorrow, hopefully we'll go live and celebrate and win the point. They play the Orioles tomorrow night at 6:30. So we'll get you the lineup and everything else that comes out as well. But please do, Buckeye. Let me know if you hear anything about Consigliere, and I will do the same. I'm going to reach out to him and make sure he's okay. But peace and love to all you, gang. I appreciate you as always. You guys are the best, and I love you. Have a great night. See y'all next time.